This should not happen. Why? Let's talk about it. At Wrestlemania 39, Mami Rhea Ripley won the Smackdown Women's Championship by defeating Charlotte Flair in what is arguably the best match of the night. Fast forward to today, we barely even scratched the surface of her title reign, and yet there's already a lingering problem that needs to be addressed. And no, I'm not talking about the fact that the Raw and Smackdown Women's Championships are still in the wrong brand. What I'm referring to, of course, is Rhea Ripley versus Natalya for the women's title at Night of Champions, which is very likely the direction WWE is going with given their interactions recently. The problem with it is not because of Natalya per se, but because of how they're going about it. Natalya is without a doubt a great wrestler and a future Hall of Famer, but what has she done to earn a title shot?
Nothing.
As far as we know, she did not win any number 1 contendership match in order to be Rhea's next opponent for the title. This problem, so to speak, is symptomatic of an even bigger problem in the WWE, which I like to call a lack of contendership consistency. In order to explain what this means, let's use a recent pay-per-view, Backlash, as an example. Backlash had a total of 3 title matches on the card. The first one being Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the Raw Women's Championship. Io Sky earned this opportunity by beating Mia Yim and Piper Niven in a triple threat number 1 contenders match, so that's all well and good. Meanwhile, on the other end, Rhea Ripley faced Zelina Vega for the Smackdown Women's title. So then you might ask, did Zelina do anything to deserve the title shot?
Nope.
You'd be surprised to learn that she hasn't even had a singles match for over a year, not to mention the awful booking of the LWO so far, making them job to literally everyone week after week. And yet, in spite all of this, she was just handed the title shot. Why? Because marketing. Zelina Vega is of Puerto Rican descent, which is exactly where Backlash took place. And so in order to sell the event better, WWE needed Puerto Rican stars to be featured in the card, which is why we got Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny, as well as Carlito and Savio Vega making cameo appearances during the match. And of course, Zelina Vega as the hometown hero babyface. This almost made it excusable to us fans, as it was more of a marketing strategy, although I would argue they could have done a better job in making Zelina a legit contender like what they did with Mustafa Ali, who won a number 1 contenders battle royale for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship and Punch's ticket to Night of Champions, an event which will take place in Saudi Arabia. The third title match on this event is what really shows the lack of contendership consistency, and it is the triple threat match for the United States Championship. If you enjoyed the video, it would really help me a lot if you give it a like and subscribe, as it lets me know that you like this kind of content. While the three-way between Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, and Bronson Reed ended up being pretty solid, it still made zero sense that the match even took place to begin with. A few weeks before Backlash, Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed started feuding after their singles match ended in a double countout and a brawl outside. WWE could have easily booked this encounter to be a number 1 contendership match for the US title in order to instantly raise the stakes. Instead, they just randomly sandwiched the US champion Austin Theory into a feud he had no part in and had him defend the title against 2 men who didn't even earn a title shot. Hashtag justice for Austin Theory. This looks even worse if you think about how WWE booked the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship at Wrestlemania. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre had to win a number 1 contenders fatal 5-way match and literally destroy each other in singles action after in order to get an opportunity to challenge for Gunther's Intercontinental title. The inconsistencies with the contendership booking when comparing the 2 triple threat matches for the midcard titles is simply just confusing. Make it make sense, WWE. So, does this mean that there should always be a number 1 contendership match in order for a title match to happen? Well, no, not really. In WWE, there are many ways you can book someone to have a title shot without actually having them be the number 1 contender. The first and perhaps the best way is through open challenges. And a great example of this was in 2015 when John Cena brought back relevance to the US title by doing open challenges almost every week. It was a really great avenue to showcase new and or unused talent like Stardust, Neville, Sami Zayn who made his debut by answering Cena's open challenge, and of course, Kevin Owens who had an epic feud with Cena for the title. Multi-man gimmick matches like the Elimination Chamber or a Battle Royale would also work as they have more freedom with who the participants will be. The last and probably the most entertainment-oriented way is by using the title match as a way to further a story. A perfect example of this is when Sami Zayn challenged Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal titles at Elimination Chamber earlier this year. Yes, Sami did not win any number 1 contendership match, but The Bloodline story revolved so heavily on Sammy's journey that it would almost be criminal if someone else was put in Sammy's spot at the time. And yeah, it was also in his hometown of Montreal, so there really wasn't any other choice here to begin with. Not to say WWE should just hand out title shots to wrestlers in their hometown, but it was the perfect timing in this scenario. To an extent, this is also why Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn challenging the Usos for the undisputed tag team titles at WrestleMania worked without them being the official #1 contenders, because it was expertly used to further the Bloodline story. The point is, there still needs to be a healthy dose of kayfabe when booking title matches in the WWE. You can have Natty feud with Rhea for the title, sure, but at least build her up to be a legit #1 contender first. The lack of contendership consistency really hurts a title's value if anyone can just challenge for it without earning it first. So yeah, thanks for attending my TED Talk rant. Till the next video, peace.